enthusiastic dad here. Today is a beautiful day where I am, as you can probably see in the background. And what I'm going to do today, very briefly, because I haven't got a lot of time this week, is to take you for a quick tour of the city that I have adopted as my own, and give you an idea of what it looks like, and you will be able to work out where it is from the clues I give you. I'll give you one clue straight away. We're in England. I mean, my accent kind of gives it away, I guess. The fact that it's winter here, it is a nice bluebird day, as Americans would call it today, but it's actually freezing cold. It's about 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, and I've got my heated gear on, which is keeping me nice and toasty. But the roads are dry. A little bit of salt, I think, has been spread, which means I'm going to have to give the bike a good wash when I get back home. But hey, you know, it's worth it for getting you guys out on a nice sunny day in the dreary part of the year, in the Northern Hemisphere at least, in January. So, without further ado, we'll go on my tour of my home city. See what you think of where I live. This is our newest road. You'll probably get the drift that the bypass of my home city isn't quite the same as the M25. If you don't live in the UK, we've had a lot of rain in January this year, and well, the evidence is clear. There's flooding everywhere in the wide river valleys. Something we're going to have to cope with more, I think, in the future. That's normally a field, and that's normally a field as well. So yeah, not particularly great. Now heading into the city on probably one of the most iconic approaches, as we get a great view of the city as we descend the valley just below it. The city is very old, it's ancient in fact, and dates back to Roman times. So we've got a couple of Roman roads around the place. There are some Roman parts of the city that I'll show you in a few minutes. There's a Norman castle and a stunning cathedral. Also, the International Bomber Command Centre is at this city. So hopefully you'll start to figure it out. I'll cover up a couple of signs. There you go. Just to make it a little more interesting for you. I know you're all going to be watching in 4K, freeze framing, try and work out where I am, road numbers, village names. That's cheating. I would suggest watch it through slightly clenched eyes after a couple of glasses of wine. There you go, there you go. You can't see that, nothing to see there. Right, here we are. Beautiful approach to my adopted home city, and looking up at the ancient part of the city on the skyline, you'll be able to see the cathedral and the castle. Down here, a little bit of a floodlet, so I think I'll avoid that and keep my boots dry. Now, before the bypass that we were just riding along, this is pretty much the only way getting around the eastern part of the city. Not ideal. But it has grown a great deal in the last few years, mainly due to the success of the university. So directly in front of us now, on the horizon, is the keep of the Norman Castle. Also a famous Victorian prison and prison museum there, and one of the few remaining copies of the Magna Carta is also held here in a fantastic display within the castle. There's the cathedral. And no, I am not in York. Now, considering I'm stopped at traffic lights, it's not a bad view ahead, is it? This is a magnificent building. Once, when it had a tower on top of that steeple, one of the tallest buildings in the world. In fact, I think it was the tallest building in the world, briefly. An earthquake caused the tower to collapse back in the Middle Ages. Now we're at the top of the hill and we are approaching the cathedral, and we're going to take a little ride around to see what we can see. We do get quite close to the cathedral here, so some nice views, and this is without doubt probably the most pretty part of our city. So here we are, look at that, fabulous. Going to get a little bit rattly in a second as we ride over cobbles. I'm fortunate enough to be able to come running along here, which is fabulous too. So I think I'll just pop into here. The full Monty view of our magnificent cathedral. There it is, and they're on camera. Cool. Right, so let's go. So we're in the ancient part of the city now. Very popular with tourists, locals alike. A city of two halves, almost. The modern part is the lower element of the city. You didn't see that hotel name? Okay, so we are now heading onto a fairly ancient street in the top of town here, and it's marked by an entrance called the Bale Gate, and the Bale Gate is a Roman arch. It's one of the few in Europe that traffic still regularly travels underneath. So the road is higher than it used to be. It's been built up over the years, but the arch is the original. Did suffer a lot of damage when a truck drove into it about 50 years ago. They repaired that, and the Bale that it leads onto is a cobble street, quite pretty. See what we can see down there. Have a quick look. So here we go onto Bale Gate and the Bale. So there is, sorry about the sun, can't do much about that. There is Bale Gate Arch. Unfortunately, I'm following a car who doesn't know where he's going. That's the way of the world. wait for me. Good man. So Christmas is over here, but still got quite a lot of decorations being removed. And at this time of day, unfortunately, it's absolutely full of delivery trucks as well, which is a bit of a shame. So I'll take you down here all the way to the end. There's the castle. Very quaint shops along here, nice pubs, restaurants. Beautiful part of the city, highly recommended. A hotel here called the White Hart, which is very nice as well. And we have Castle Square just down there. So we're going to ride around again, see how we get on. Here we are, riding along the castle walls, and if you buy a ticket for the castle and the cathedral, you can ride quite happily, go walking along there. We can either go into the castle or the cathedral.